Good evening. I'd like to welcome tonight all parents, relatives, friends, teachers, administrators, faculty, and other assorted persons. Even that one weird uncle who always shows up at these things regardless of invitation. Joking aside, momentarily, I'd like to especially extend a warm welcome and thanks to Bishop Baker, Ms. Lawler, Father Deasy, and Father Chenal for joining us tonight. Most of all, I want to welcome my fellow students of the Holy Spirit class of 2014. Congratulations. You beat phase 1 of society's cruel game to determine your life's success. In recognition of your achievement, you get to play dress up and receive a piece of paper that you can hang on your fridge or even a future office cubicle. I hope you feel accomplished. You might even be able to convince relatives to give you money for completing society's first educational obligation. Tonight truly is a special night. So, I've been invited to give a speech. I know, I'm shocked too. I don't even know why I'm being offered. In the words of the great Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last. Let's be real here. I'm just the first one. But in all seriousness, who am I kidding? I'm never serious. But really, what makes me special? I suppose it's because of my GPA. So I can memorize a great deal of arguably arbitrary information and regurgitate it for a test. Woohoo. Does that somehow make me better than the rest of my class? Sans Mr. Salutatorian over there. Apparently so, according to society's definition of scholastic success. Well, for any of you who know me, you know I don't always necessarily buy into what society tells me. There's an incredibly cliched misquote from a 2004 self-help book, falsely accredited to Einstein, that states, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Despite its relative cheesiness and erroneous attribution, I believe this quote rings true throughout many of America's learning institutions. Take me, for example. I can't program a computer. I can't sing a beautiful song, although my lack of ability rarely stops me. I can't create an artistic masterpiece. I can't break running records. I can't catch a football or defend a soccer goal. I can't use crazy ninja moves to defend myself. I can, however, always remember the chain rule, or the outcome of Map v. Ohio, or the precise difference between human acts and acts of humans. And apparently, that's what really matters, right? No, I don't think so. As I look upon the faces of my fellow classmates, I see 46 young men and women who possess just as much merit as I do, and have the same right as I do to be up here giving this speech to you all tonight. But alas, here I stand. I hope that I may serve as a proper representative for my equally deserving peers. Speaking of my classmates, I'd like to take a moment to share my experience of how I came to join the Holy Spirit family. I enrolled at Holy Spirit in 8th grade. Before that, I attended an assortment of public schools. I'm fairly certain most of you know this, but I'm a pretty weird kid. I always have been, even before I started collecting cockroaches. Not only that, but when I was younger, I possessed rather deplorable social skills. I never had problems interacting with adults, but I just didn't understand other kids. And this, mind you, was when I made an effort to conform to the norm, when I tried to fit in, yet failed. So, throughout my elementary and middle school years, I got accustomed to having 5 really close friends, but largely ignoring and being ignored by the student body as a whole. Sometimes, though, I wasn't ignored. Sometimes I was teased or called names. I admittedly had a rather fragile self-esteem, and I really let the teasing get to me. Well, I transferred to Holy Spirit due to academic reasons, and I really didn't know what to expect, since I knew absolutely no one. I did have one acquaintance who had attended prior to my arrival, so I asked him what to expect. He told me Evan Ryder was pretty cool, but Danner Young was a jerk. On my first day, I talked to Danner for a solid 10 minutes about fishing, and he's been a great friend for 5 years. The lesson to be learned is to never blindly accept others' words without your own observations. I learned pretty quickly just how different Holy Spirit was in comparison to the public schools I had previously attended. In just a few short weeks, I made more friends than I ever had before. It was at Holy Spirit that I first learned what it was to truly be a part of a school family. Everyone at Holy Spirit respects, accepts, and genuinely cares about one another. As I continued attending Holy Spirit, I felt more and more accepted and more a part of the family. Because of this, I felt like I could be myself and stop trying to conform. In the words of Father DC, I could be more authentic. I felt that I would still be accepted regardless. And I was right. My cockroach hobby was met with more intrigue than disgust. My unorthodox musical tastes were at least given a chance, though rarely enjoyed. No matter how weird I was always a part of the family. I can say with pride that ever since I came to Holy Spirit, I have never once been teased or bullied. My classmates have always treated me with the God-given dignity that I and all people deserve. I look now to my fellow seniors, to my family. I want to thank you for all of your love, your kindness, and your acceptance. Every one of you is a lifelong friend that I feel blessed to have had in my life. And as I think of all the different places each member of my family will go in the coming months, I unfortunately cannot help but feel a bit of melancholy, not only for the geographical separation of our class, but for the future of each individual member. Colleges and workplaces aren't like Holy Spirit. We'll meet many different people, many of whom won't be like the family we forged here. We'll all face decisions that will shape who we are forever. I just want you all to make me one promise. Wherever you go, whatever you do, stay true to yourself and your Holy Spirit family, upholding the values we have learned here. Just because the people around you aren't as accepting or caring, don't change yourself to be like them. You never know when you might encounter someone who was like me, but never got a chance to be a part of a family like ours. All I ask of you is to do for that person what you've done for me, and make him or her truly feel like a member of a family. Thank you.